So when we recognize that oneness, this is the point from which our life begins to spring anew as a new experience. Because being one with God or infinite good or the law is to be one with all the greatness that is. So from that starting point, we can go anywhere. We can do anything. We can leave our limits behind us. So this morning, you know how I love to break beyond limits. I'm always thinking, how can I do that? You know, and always looking at those laws. And we have talked in the last couple of talks about the sequences of making your master demonstration and some of the principles and laws that are involved in that. And so the subject this morning is preparation, preparing the way for increase. And I haven't really totally focused on preparation. So this morning I want to do that so you can get a very specific, clear idea of the things that you need to do to establish your new good. So, are you ready for takeoff? And are you ready to leave your burdens and your problems behind? This is very important. To enter that new land of major increase for you, and to have permanently established in your life some special, major good? If so, and I know we all are, let's take a look at, let's talk about the passport of consciousness that we need to make our perfect transition in perfect grace, ease, peace, and poise. Let's consider now if our qualifications for this new land are in order and all the preparations. So this morning, we're looking at these sacred laws of preparation for major change and how we can activate them now, if we haven't activated them already, how we can bring them out now on all levels. So the first and foremost thing to understand is that when you have a new idea, it is the divine cue knocking at the doors of your consciousness that you are right now ready to expand. And not sometime in the future, but right now when it comes, it means when it comes, you are ready to expand. So you must know this without a shadow of a doubt so that you do not get into postponement, but you can embrace that new idea immediately and get into the activity of it. So it also means that this new idea that streams into your consciousness is actually immediately available at a higher level of functioning for you. You know how sometimes when we're bringing in a new thing, we have the sense that we've got to bring it in from somewhere out there, you know, that we're dealing with something far off out there that we have to bring to us. Well, actually, it's the opposite. It is actually totally available for us on those invisible planes Otto was talking about, which are only invisible when your consciousness is not at that level. So the first thing when we get a new idea, we realize it's now available for me at a higher level of functioning. So if I up my level of functioning, that new good, which is already ready for me, must naturally emerge. That is just logical sequence, right? So from the beginning, at the level of the absolute, our good exists now, actually materialized as a choice for us. So when we get a new idea, it is actually a point of choice. Are you going to ascend upward in your vibration and accept this idea and become one with it, or are you going to stay where you are? So there can be no questions about this. It exists as a divine potential for you right now, as Cheryl said, complete and whole, or it would never have come to you. You could never have thought of it. It came to you on the wings of divine mind. So this is where we start here in our perfect preparation with the primary assumption and level of reference that this idea has come to me because I already have it at my higher level of functioning. Okay? Can you see this? Okay. And it's a choice for me now. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But this is the key. I must adjust perfectly to its level in order to experience it. So starting from this major assumption, this major reference point and level, I can then say, okay, this is mine. As soon as I'm vibrating with it, it's mine. What is it in my behavior, my feeling life, my words, the way I communicate about myself, my activity, that I must now reorder to align myself with this thing that I know, this idea as my new governing factor, my new governing level and point of reference. Not, well, why doesn't God bring it to me? Oh, God doesn't want me to have it. Like, who is God? So we ask ourselves, not why hasn't God done this for me and blaming out there. We say, what can I do to tune into this, that I may experience this great good? Jane, how many of you are familiar with Seth? Seth Speaks, written by Jane Roberts. I loved that when I first wrote it for some of the ideas in it. And she says that we are living on many levels simultaneously, many levels, and that we regulate ourselves at the level of a particular vibration by means of our thought and feeling patterns. This causes a certain line of experiences to emerge from us. And the rest of it sort of feels like it's out in fantasy land somewhere. So we regulate at a certain level of acceptance for ourselves. But this is what we must realize. We ever have the choice. I like to call level hopping. Level hopping, right? But to regulate at the level we want to be experiencing, to fine-tune to that level. So during any change that's going on with you, recognize that you are in the midst of adjusting your energy field to a new harmonic. A new harmonic. So to perfectly prepare for major new good, and part of this fine-tuning is that we absolutely must practice this sacred ritual that the Masters practice in everyone of withdrawing completely our attention from all appearances, all that which is going on out there that might look like evidence against or opposing what it is you have in mind. So the mystic, and Cheryl's a mystic, I know we all are, the mystic has the power to suspend the knowing, to maintain the knowing higher, walking on water, so to speak, higher than the level of the appearances. So we must consciously withdraw our attention from the appearances, from all references to conditions, the conditions we are departing, the conditions we no longer desire, not giving them power by relating stories to our friends and, relating to the pains and the frustrations, whatever they may be, because you must realize by the law of your being what you speak is, by the law of your being. And so as you do this, and if you don't maintain an alertness about this and construct your words and your conversations about yourself and what you're doing positively, you are literally fixing that which you don't want in space and time. So recognize that in order to depart this condition, you must turn away from it, and you must refrain from speaking about it and from responding to it. Okay? This is not easy. This is for people with backbone who really want what they want, and are willing to pay the price. And now, in your full turning away from the appearance, fully connecting in body, mind, and being to that vibrational pattern of the thing we desire. Literally leaving in consciousness one level of reference. Becoming perfectly one with it, immersing yourself in the idea of it. Asking yourself, what can I do? How do I need to change? What can I do? What is it in my behavior that I can change to tune up to this level? Recognizing that here I am, operating my perfect freedom, my perfect law of choice. Here I am just withdrawing from that which was and realigning to that which I desire. So ask yourself, again, starting with the assumption, number one assumption, I have it right now. I do have it right now at the higher level. And I am recognizing that infinite God offers me all, ever, and is right now offering me a golden opportunity to experience more of the abundance of divine life. For we know that in the perfect life that we live, everything is expansion and increase. That is the right order and natural activity of the universe. So any idea that comes to you through the momentum of the universe that speaks to you about expansion or further good for you, you must know is God calling, your new good calling. So don't be afraid to respond to it. Don't be afraid to leave as fast as you can your attachments to everything that is now going on that is not up to the level of that new wonderful opportunity. Okay, so we ask ourselves, what do I need to change? Because we don't want to walk around anymore acting like we can't have it. Acting like we don't have it. And it's not in our power. Someone else has to do something out there for it to become possible to me. We don't want to give in to this behavior. We want to recognize we are the ones who can bring it in. So we say, this is a great question too in preparation. Like Otto asks, what does your temple look like? So ask yourself in the consciousness of the now, and spend a lot of time on this. It's part of tuning up. What is my new life like now that I have it? Having this good, being one with it, living in the condition of this good, what is my life like? What goes on? What's happening there? How do I feel? Who are my friends? What's doing at that higher level where my miracle is right now happening? Okay? Familiarize yourself with the language of this new country, with the activity of this new country, so that you can up your level of expectation to receive. Can you see how this works and how infinitely sane it is? I love what Cheryl said. I'm going to keep repeating that. It's infinitely sane to think this way. So familiarize yourself with this new activity asking yourself what happens there, what's my life like, what's the picture of my life like, what am I doing, how am I behaving, etc., etc. And write this out in full detail as much as you can so you can learn the language of this new country that you're going to. You know, like any other country, if you're going to go to a place where you don't speak the language, you might take a course, you know, to up your level so that you'll be able to communicate with people and you'll be able to interact. So we want to ask ourselves, what's the language here? And now we want to begin to prepare by absorbing and acting that behavior, acting as if, you've all heard this, act as if. This is what it means. Act that behavior now. Okay? So that says, if I want to meet the love of my life, let's say, I don't go around with my friends saying, I don't have any love. Oh, that person will never come. You know, I'm not at the level, certainly. You can see how that is. I am not at the level where what I'm claiming is going to come to me. But on the other hand, if I'm with friends, let's say, you know, and friends say, well, you said, you know, you were meeting the love of your life. Well, I don't see him, her. Where are they? This is the judging by appearances. So the one who knows the truth, who has established the truth from themselves, will just sit there and they'll say, I know he's here. I know he, she's here. You know, look at your steadiness in claiming your good in spite of it. Also, it will change your behavior. If you act as if you have that good, whatever it might be, you know, business, professional, relationship, spiritual, you know, whatever your quest is, if you act in that sacred tube of light, knowing that you have it, let's say you have in mind a great job for yourself, okay, and you have a feelingness about it. You know, perhaps not the names and faces. We never get to fill those in. God does that for us, right? But we get to be specific about the atmosphere of where we'll be working, what it's like, how are my interactions with the people, what's my job like, how do I feel about it. Not necessarily even knowing what the job will be, but knowing that it's something that nurtures you. So we go on an appointment, and we meet someone, let's say, who offers us a lower salary, where the atmosphere of the workplace is not for us. At that moment, we must know, this is not for me. So staying steady with our vision permits us to release and not get bound to that which is not for us, that we can move right freely. Meantime, we're vibrating at the higher level. So we must attract at where are the level of our expectations and behavior, we must. So we keep on our beam in our perfect silent knowing, and lo and behold, not letting anything, not letting fear or doubt drag us down to repetition. Now, if I really don't believe that my good is right now present, remember I said at the higher level of functioning. That's why you don't see it right now, right? But you will when you're at the higher level. So you must remember that it's you who needs to do more tuning. It's not God or the law of mind, the perfect scientific law of divine order that needs improvement. So get very much into this and realize that if you have a shadow of doubt or whatever about that, that is going to hold you bound, like to the rock. You know what I'm saying? Chained. Your fear and your doubt constricts you and chains you. At the very moment when you want to take off in that flight and, have a great trip, it's just chaining you there and you're on delay. So it's up to you to let go of the fear and the doubt and to remind yourself of the infinite sanity that I am in charge and I can have this if I will do the right thing. Okay? Okay, so acting as if is essential in our words, actions, feelingness, essential to attracting at the right level. And this does mean letting go everything contrary. So we can prepare whatever great journey you as in divine journey, each individual is going on now, whatever that may be, that thing may be. You can prepare by mentally, in contemplation, overview your life. You know how when we meditate, we can see ourselves. That's our higher consciousness operating. So from the vantage point of our higher consciousness, we can oversee our activity, everything that's going on, and we can let go, consciously begin to let go of all the previous chains of cause-effect sequences. All of them, till there's nothing left binding your memory patterns. Okay, this is very great. There was a time that we thought that we could only move very slowly. You know, I got to dig out this feeling, and I got to dig out that feeling, and I got to make up for this and make up for that. But we can actually overview an entire sequence of limited activity. Let's say, you know, constant ill health or whatever. We can look that over, and we can decide, being perfectly free and whole, always, we can decide to let that entire chain and all its effects go along with all of our identification with it. Do you realize how powerful this is? This means any relationship, let's say your relationship with finances. Let's say you've never been paid the immeasurable worth that you deserve. So you can say, I right now let go of the entire insufficient relationship or negative bondage with negative financial occurrences, appearances, activities, all together, completely, forever, all. It is of no power ever anymore in my life. I let go all the persons, places, and things that had anything to do with that level. I bless them, I release them, and I go to my good. Fast. Okay? You are the whole consciousness who has been living. We live piecemeal. You know, we live at restricted levels of vision. But nevertheless, we have always remained the whole consciousness who has the power, and this is why there can be what appears to be instantaneous, miraculous healings, because the person has let go, needing to identify with all of it. They have just been able to let it go, saying, I went through those things, but they are not me. That which I am is perfect and whole and complete and has never been damaged, not one iota, nor ever really restricted, not one iota, by any experience. So in order to get our sense of wholeness back again, we need to release. And that's exactly what happens. We can finally get to a point where we forgive, release. We feel, present. And like a great burden has been lifted. So this is part of the preparing law to overview your cause-effects. And if anything is lower than what you want to experience, release it in love, recognizing it took your involvement for it to happen. So it's just, you discovering some more things. Let that go in love, bless it, release it all its power where you are. Okay? And release your identification. You're either identified with your divine self, your God self, your limitless, unlimited self. The truth of you, or you're identified with your limitations. So you don't want your limitations. You can't bring that luggage where you're going, right? So release and identify with your God self. Release your need for them, your familiarity with them, and your attachment to them. Refraining from all reference, as we said, so that you completely release accentuating them at all. Remembering that these whatevers are not you. They're just whatevers. That's all that they are. Just passing phases of infinite experience. Okay? So, and you want to let go your relationship with these entire experiences, emotional mental relationship with them, including, again, all the persons, places, things, memories, and attachments. It's your choice. If you knew how powerful that memory bank is, how often it replays on us and we're acting out of a memory and not in the truth and not in the present. So you can consciously say, I discovered this, that you can say, I release from my memory all need to hold on to those memories. I dissolve them, I free them, I release them. I let them go out into the infinite, eternal atmosphere. They are no longer mine. Now, if you have some good memories you want to keep for good reference, keep them. Like Yogananda says, keep the things that empower you and let go of the rest. You don't need them. Okay? Okay, so let go of those memories. Okay, now on the emotional planes, in preparation, we must consciously observe ourselves and refrain from those emotional buttons go off. Reactivity to certain situations causes us to go unstable, causes chaos, throws us off balance, and it throws us out of alignment with the thing that we want. So we must guard the emotional life, and if we see that there I am habitually responding with frustration or anger or grief or fear, we must stand still and say, no, I am choosing to have faith rather than fear. I am choosing right now, regardless of what that person did, to express perfect love and calm rather than anger. Okay? If you want to go to a new level of good, you've got to be up to par for that good. And the greatest good will not include, mounds of this reactivity that we go through. So for our own sake, we must say, how am I emotionally in this new land? If I'm happy and I'm having a great time and I love everyone and we're very close and all is well with me, then bring that feelingness now. Regardless of whatever is going on, practice having that feeling now regardless. And you'll be so magnetic by that purity of your feeling life that you will draw to you the thing. Can you see it? It's always the one. It's like the fellow in the earthquake. Grace, who's not here this morning, mentioned, was it Grace? Maybe, I don't know if it was Grace. Maybe it was Britannia. Britannia, you mentioned about this man who was, the news was covering the earthquake. And lots of people were in tremendous grief and despair and, unable to release and to project the possibility of a new idea over the situation. And this fellow, like, an innocent babe, said, what did he say? Something like, I'm expecting my wonderful new house, or something wonderful. It was very high above the appearance. And you saw the steadiness of his conscious knowing. He knew the secret. If he maintained his consciousness on high, then he'll be the one. That somebody's, he will magnetize by his projection to himself that great good. And that earthquake and all the stuff that happened, the so-called devastation, will pass right by him. And he will be right in his new place, shining in the glory of his innocence. Okay? So this is the kind of strength that the masters have, that the great ones have, and I know all of us are great here. And we have all exhibited this at certain times, but I want to affirm for you that this is the way to go. This is the way of power. No other way is as powerful as this. Okay, so We're refraining from habitual emotional responses which don't belong to our new place of satisfaction. We are choosing quiet faith in our new idea, maintaining that faith, letting whatever comes, another saying, it came to pass, letting it pass, staying in the benevolence of our new idea. Constantly knowing, as I attune more and more, I certainly do have it now. I certainly do have it. I'm in the ark of my knowing, perched on the highest rock, acknowledging only heaven or the good that I perceive for myself. The power of my God, who is right now producing this good for me, as I am leveling, as I am ascending to its level. So we must express our great freedom before we get on this plane. You know, if anybody came up to you with a detector, right, they don't want to run that radiation over you and find stuckness, you know. Oh boy, there's miles and years here, you know, steel bands coming out from the side of you, you know, mile-long, you know, infinite mile-long chains. They want to say, you know, this person is very free, very ready. Okay, you can go by. Because we know that what we're leaving is soon to be our past, and the freer that we are, the sooner it will be our past. Okay? And our degree of freedom must be large enough, commensurate and true enough to the greater thing we shall experience with the new vibration. That level where our miracles are right now happening. So we want to let this new level settle as fast as possible, get adjusted as fast as possible, to let it settle quickly as our new great reality. Okay, I'm just going to give you a few more cues. How am I doing time-wise? Okay, I'm okay. So, another secret in preparation is to release clutter. We do that mentally, emotionally through releasing attachments. Release clutter, disorder, physically, mentally, emotionally, cleansing your emotional, physical field for the arrival of your good. Prepare for the arrival of your very important guest. Get ready. Free yourself from all that is not harmonious with the new level. The freer you are of your old references and attachments, the more miracles can come in. And the law of balance requires this, that you loosen all your involvements, you stand free, so that you cannot be distracted and that you are not too crowded. Because the law of divine order will not permit a new thing to come in if the area is very dense, okay, very crowded. So be prepared right now. Think about this. If I broke with everything right now that is dissatisfactory to me, what would it be like? And be prepared to break right now. The law of perfect balance requires this, that you are prepared to perform the break with the old for the new. So you can ask yourself in advance by means of preparation, what can't I take with me? What doesn't make sense in the new place, right? What do I need to let go of? Who and what do I need to forgive? What do I need to clean out? And the cleansing law demands the complete forgiveness of everyone, everything, everyone, for our sake. Not so much for theirs, because they'll continue to be and do whatever it is that they're doing. But we know, what does that have to do with us? And we know it's a terrible danger to hold on to them, because our good will be restricted. So we let go, we get very artful at this, not being trapped where we don't want to be trapped. Okay. So we must get the sense that this flight that we're going on is ready to leave now. And we must desire this new thing, here is another item, we must desire this to the exclusion of all that has gone before, if necessary. Believe it or not, the emptier you are, the greater your manifestation will be. Okay? And there's one story that Catherine Pounder tells about a lawyer who wanted to shift his caseload, wanted to shift the type of cases that he was working on. And he was successful and doing fine in it, but he just wanted to do something else creatively. So what he did was he went down the hallway and he gave the whole batch of cases that he had to another lawyer. Okay? So he emptied out that he could be free, knowing the vacuum law, that if I create a room, create the room, I am magnetic to new activity coming to me. So really I encourage this. Don't be afraid to let go. It's so wonderful. Every time I've let go of something, every time I know this law, so you can activate in advance. You don't have to wait for the new thing and then let go. And it never works that way anyway. You got to let go first, right? So I remember wanting a new rug. So I said, well, I'm not going to wait, until something happens. I'm going to take this rug right now and putting it on the street. I'm passing it on. I'm circulating this to who can use it next. And, instantly a magnificent, Chinese rug came into me. And I do that with lots of things because I really understand this law. So we do this with, we do it first. We let go first. Understanding when we sit, we can say, I am preparing. This is part of my letting the law know that I mean business. And we can let go of anything. You want a new house? Start to let go of the one that you're in. Shiffy knows this law. She's manifested a new apartment, boom, as soon as she released all the attachments and everything around it. Okay? So you must be a very pure vessel, perfectly equalized with the thing you are conceiving. Asking also, what are the demands of my new life? Each level does have its demands. So if I want to create, let's say I want to have a restaurant, okay? Now I got to realize, I can ask myself, what are the things that go along with having this thing? What are the requirements? What's the life like? What's the activity? Okay? Because you don't want to find yourself down the line having manifested the thing and said, what did I manifest? I don't want this right now. Right now. So it's good to ask yourself before, to think it out and then act in the now about it. There's a statement that I am the company. I am the company that I want to create. I am the restaurant that I want to create. So I behave now with the dignity of that place of having. In the way that I behave, it's shades in my behavior, shades in the message that I'm giving out. Does this make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, great. Okay, so this is all constitutes correct distribution, scientific distribution, and it's so much fun. It's such an adventure. But it's scientific distribution of your power correctly. So if a thing in your energy field right now that you can see is not up to par with what you want, dump it. Recognizing it came to pass, you are greater than this. Stay with what you are. Break up rigid behavioral patterns, repetition. Be free on every front. God doesn't know any habits. Never stuck in routine. So be alert to where you might be doing repetitive things and let them go. Let the habits go. Okay, so you must abide in your world of your knowing. Don't bring the problem or issue now back in, activating it all over again. Eat lightly. Here's another key, Stuart Wilde. said be as light as you can for your demonstrations. The more you do in terms of preparation, the more you are heightening your level. So you have a very important appointment, a very important something you're going on. Eat light, maintain your quietude, maintain your vision, move quietly, get rid of all excess, because if you're bound in excess, you're bound to clutter, right? Get rid of all distortions, excess. Very, very simple, and walk right in and get it. Okay? Let nothing impact you in your force field. The masters refer to your tube of light. You can actually be radiating such a strong current that you are like a repellent force, where nothing but that which you desire or give permission to enter can enter your emotional mental plane. And it does not matter what's going on out there. It matters who you are being and what you are accepting for you. And practice letting the lesser go by. Okay. So be in this emotional involvement of your idea, acting as if you have it right now, acting as if it already was your great reality, for it is already. Get into the activity of having, behaving though you have, within and without, and this is your passport, your proof that you are up to par as a worthy citizen of the new land under divine government of abundance. Always recognizing I am the power, I am the responsible one. There is nothing out there but reflections of me. I am willing to do all that it takes, all the inner work necessary to bring all experiences right under my feet, right under my command. And I know that Divine Mother, the bountiful, creative law of being, will hold up for you, for me, for your perfect admiration, the perfect reflective glass of your miracle mind. Definitely showing you, indeed, my beloved, you have arrived, and you are the worthiness in body, mind, and being of all. So let's just do a very quick meditation to ground this for ourselves. So going within the within. To that sacred summit of creation. One with all. One with patterns of divine increase now. Let us now each one behold our new good, being fully offered to us right now by the Divine One. It's so perfect, so complete. And let us say, yes, Divine Being, I accept for me this bounty of thy glory, peace, love, and fulfillment now. Oh, I am free for thee. I let go all the lesser. I am free as I enter the new land of heavenly, glorious vibrations. I do so now. I have sufficiently prepared. I have said my goodbyes. I am free of remorse, regrets, sorrows. Thank you, great Father, Mother mine, for your wondrous gift. You are so marvelous. And so it is. Let's read our prosperity affirmation now. Recognizing our word is law. Knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is, and that's the law. Okay, so let's read our statements together now, knowing that we are... Okay, so let's read our statements together. Let's read our statements together now, knowing that we are establishing this pattern for each one of us. I am that I am. And right now, I declare I am perfectly prepared for my major increase now. God charges me to the fullest full with divine energy and substance sublime, perfectly equivalent to my heart's desire. I am on my new level now, equalized and harmonized in all. I have let go all that needed to go, aligning, cleansing, and purifying all. As I view my vast new terrains of good, I rest secure that I am a perfect receiving, attracting, and happening magnet now. Oh, I love my new land so. It fills me with unforeseen and immeasurable delight. Thank you, Father, for increasing me. And so it is. And everybody better get very big baskets for this week, or trucks or whatever, because I know great things are going on.